Hey, what's up guys? I've got here the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, been eagerly awaiting it. This is Samsung's Titan, and it's in the most beautiful color here, Aura Glow. I'd like to go ahead and compare it to the iPhone XS Max in the areas that matter, to me anyways, that's the camera and the speed comparison. Oof, there it is. Beautiful color. Now it's one thing to see it in the photos and an entirely different thing to experience it in person. So I really like this look. I like that they're experimenting with new finishes. You know, we've been seeing so many of the static colors. It's very refreshing. It's not a gradient, it's an entirely different new genre of colors on its own. I love it. And this is the quad camera beast, 16 megapixel ultra wide and a 3D sensing rear camera, which is something the iPhone 11 won't even be getting. You're gonna have to wait until 2020 for the iPhone to get the technology that the Galaxy Note 10 or the Plus has today. I really like the flat top and bottom. Something new entirely. Well, I'd say it's copied from Huawei for sure. So the first thing that you'll notice is that the power button is gone from the side. It's now on the left side. This is a 6.8-inch display. Of course, you have that cutout whole camera up here, which is now smaller than the Galaxy S10. So within a matter of months, Samsung really pushed the envelope here. Let's go ahead and get started on that test, see what this thing has. I love the design though, just feeling them together. This feels by far way more futuristic than the iPhone XS Max. The bezels are almost non-existent. The bottom chin area is so small now, and hopefully in the future generations, they'll get rid of that altogether. Even so, this thing feels like it's from the year 2025 compared to Apple's, which is frankly getting dated, and this year's iPhone 11 will not offer any consolation from the notch up here. It's sticking around for a whole nother year. Now, this is the world's best display right now. It's won 13 awards. It's the brightest, sharpest, lowest reflectivity. Man, it just feels like a sticker. Sticker sitting on top of the phone. Unreal. Let's begin with the startup test. So to turn off the iPhone, it's volume up, and the power button over here with no power button on the side, Samsung has relocated it to the volume down plus power button. An interesting change. Now on the left, we have Android 9 with Samsung's latest UI on top and iOS 13 Beta 7 on the right. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. And booting them up at the same time here. Now we have the Snapdragon 855 on the left with 12 gigabytes of RAM. On the right, 4 gigabytes with Apple's A12 quad-core processor instead of octa-core. Smartphones have gotten to a point where you really don't even take advantage of the power. Oh, actually ridiculously close. And my point to that being that this test is more about what stays open in the background, allowing you to switch over to it faster without having to wait for the app to reload. Okay, and let's clear out the app switcher here. I wanted to start with my favorite speed test. This is where we rapid fire through a succession of apps. To me, the best indicator of how fast a smartphone is. And I'm more on the heavy game side here, as the Note has the graphical prowess advantage. Even so, the iPhone did have a slight speed advantage rushing through all of these. It seemed to load the heavier games faster, and in particular where the iPhone caught up was the video encoding. The Galaxy Note series for the lighter applications like Spotify, Instagram, I noticed it would launch those faster, and I'll take you through some of those apps here in just a second. But the video processing is where the Snapdragon 855 falls behind. Apple has some amazing encoding. First round goes to the iPhone, 2 minutes and 12 seconds, running all of those apps. Very impressive. This is iOS 13, and apparently it should be launching them a little bit faster here thanks to the optimizations. Now, round 2 is where the Galaxy Note 10 really starts to show off. The Plus here with its 12 gigabytes of RAM with a 27-second round 2. All of the apps were still open in the background. For the iPhone, it was only the last few that were loaded. Impressive. Next, I'd like to launch some apps side by side and get a more accurate comparison. Let's start with YouTube. 1, 2. And oh, this one loaded fast on the Galaxy Note 10. Moving on to something heavy, 1, 2, 3. And this is definitely going to be something longer to load. So iPhone loaded this one faster with its paltry 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's only going to come into play here in a little bit. Okay, Asphalt 9, 1, 2. I've never gotten to a point where I'm like, I need more power on my iPhone. Galaxy definitely has more raw graphical power. Oh, loaded this one faster. So for gaming, I definitely would recommend the Galaxy Note 10. It's got the bigger display. 1, 2, actually about the same. Temple Run, 1, 2, a little bit of a lighter one. Oh, definitely loaded faster on the Note. And Minecraft, 1, 2. Oh yeah, again on the Note faster. Let's actually try and load the world. 1, 2. A lot of the games aren't fully updated for the display on the Note series, although would you want it to go past the camera? And yeah, so faster on the Note. Netflix, 1, 2. Oh, looks like the Note loaded that one faster. Need for Speed No Limits, 1, 2. Another heavy one here. Cool, I think the iPhone won this one. So just loading some apps. Seems like the iPhone has the upper hand here on a handful of them. Cool. So you're in that a good amount of time faster than the Note could be. Wow. Actually considerably faster. And Spotify, 1, 2. Cool. Note loaded that one faster. And Instagram, 1, 2. Nope. Pretty much preloaded already. And there's that Geekbench. Very, very close. Bridging the gap ever so slowly, although the new Apple A13 is going to take this to new heights. So multi-core score just a hair behind Apple's, and the single-core score a noticeable difference. But that is not Samsung's fault. The Exynos processor should make this more interesting. I'd say this is a fairly close test, although the iPhone still has the upper hand in single-core. So after running that test, let's go through all of the apps. And as you can see, this is where that 12 gigabytes of RAM really comes in handy. The iPhone has to reload these applications. Yep, has to reload PlayerUnknown, Asphalt 9. This one here is still loaded. Apple has to reload it. Even with 4 gigabytes of RAM, I'm very impressed by the performance of the iPhone XS Max. Obviously, you're getting more for your money here with the Note 10. These are the Antutu results. The GPU is obviously way more powerful here in comparison to the iPhone, and overall fairly close, just a little bit behind. And a test of biometrics. On the left, the in-screen ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. On the right, Face ID. With the screens off, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no comparison. At least 3 times faster on the Note series. Once again, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so much faster. Apparently the new iPhone is going to have faster Face ID, but yeah, even with iOS 13, still not up to par with the Note series. Much, much faster. And from the same distance, Face Unlock from both, I'd say about the same, although Apple's is a more secure version. Yeah, about the same speed-wise and animation-wise. Fingerprint sensing is where things really get put on a different level with the Note 10. All right, let's go ahead and test those cameras out. Over here we have the 16 megapixel ultra wide. Both are capable of 4K 60, and just on a general quality test here. Okay, so here's some pop-in colors. Got some magenta, pink, orange. And this is where the Galaxy really shines here, and that's ultra wide. So you click on this magical button and you step back several feet, where the iPhone cannot compete right now. In a month it'll be able to. Right now the ultra wide seriously just kicks ass on Samsung. I love it. Let's get in real close here. I think Samsung has gotten pretty close to the iPhone in terms of realistic colors. Both really, really great. And here's 2x zoom on this beautiful sunflower. Both are stabilized optically. Both look great. So the pheasant we have over here reminds me a lot of this color. Rainbow shimmer. It's got everything, orange, blue. For some low light, we're here in the den of the dinosaurs. Those guys are truly scary in the background. Let's get some zoom going. I don't know what they're doing here, they don't belong. Oh, look at those guys. All right, let's let them rest. Got this subject far away, the Portland airport. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. That's 2x zoom right there. Fairly stable. And let's go further. And here's 5x zoom. So, as you can see, I'm trying to stay on this airplane here. Fairly stable on both still. At this point, digital image stabilization is taking over here. And the iPhone tops out at 6x zoom. So this is 6x on both. And to me, the Note seems a little more jittery. But you can go even closer, 10x on the Note here, where the iPhone can only do 6. And then of course we have the ultra wide, which allows us to step back even further. I'm impressed. Definitely love the ultra wide. Oh. There's my favorite bridge. So of course I had to get a scene here. The monolith. And man, both are good. Dynamic range, man. Smartphones have gotten so good. Even a few years ago, like, it was unbearable, but now professional quality. I think it's very hard to choose one or the other. Both take very sharp, vibrant photos. Video capability is almost on par. Of course, the Note has the ultra-wide lens and then the 3D camera, which could prove to be quite useful in the future. It comes down to color, temperature, skin tone. For me, that's pretty much the only determining factor between the two. Both are so great. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. That's my camera and speed test comparison between the XS Max and Note 10. Let me know what you think down below.